Welcome to my English channel. Today we are going to see a poem, A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. His full name is George Leslie Norris. He was a poet as well as a short story writer. He had taught in many academic institutions both in Britain and as well as in USA. He was one of the most important writers in the post-war period. Let me read the poem to you. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind the bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Let me explain the poem to you. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. He stalks, he moves angrily, and when he is moving, his body is, the stripes on his body is so clear, it seems, vivid stripes. The few steps of his cage, of the cage, okay, he's been kept in a cage and he's very angry, so he can move only few steps on pads of velvet quiet. The paws of the tigers are so soft, like velvet, it seems, so the sound is not heard, but one can feel the anger in his quiet rage. He is not able to show the anger, but he is very angry. That is why he is moving up and down in his cage. In the second stanza, the poet is telling us how the tiger will be in the natural environment. Okay, how he will be. He should be lurking in shadow. Lurking in shadow means moving in shadow. Before an attack, we will see how the tiger moves, stealthily approaches its prey. Okay, so he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, it seems. His movement will be so smooth through the long grass that where he'll be moving near the water hole, so that the plump deer, the well-fed deer which will come to drink water, the tiger can pounce on that. This is the explanation for second stanza. In the third stanza, the poet says how the tiger will be terrorizing the villagers. Okay, he should be snarling around houses. Snarling means growling, making loud and ferocious noise around the houses which are at the edge of the jungle, it seems. And how he will terrorize? He will be showing his teeth and his claws. Okay, baring his white fangs and his claws. Okay, so if you see how the tiger attacks, it will be showing all its teeth, ferocious teeth, and it will be using its claws to attack people. So terrorizing the village. Terrorizing the village here meaning terrorizing the people in the village. In the fourth stanza, the poet is saying, unfortunately, he is locked in the prison. So the cage is compared to the prison. Another word for cell is prison. Okay, his strength behind his bars. All his strength are locked in the bars, it seems, behind the bars, stalking the length of the cage. Okay, stalking the length of his cage, that is moving again with anger and with all the pride, ignoring the visitors. Okay, if it is zoo means we all go and visit wild animals, but the tiger or the lion, whichever is kept in the cage, it is not bothered who's going to come and visit them or not. Okay, so ignoring the visitors. The last stanza, the poet talks about the nightlife of the tiger. He says that his ears can hear only the last voice, that is the voice of the siren sound made by the patrolling jeep, okay, or the patrolling cars, okay, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. His eyes can only see the brilliant stars, I believe. So the ferocious animal which are supposed to hear the sounds of its prey, which are supposed to see the prey which is coming to it, now can only hear the sounds of the patrolling cars which are in the city, and can only see the stars. So the poet ends with a sad tone that such a majestic animal is imprisoned in the cage. Let us discuss the poetic devices. The first poetic device in this poem is, if you see, vivid stripes. Vivid stripes, the part of it, the body part of it, is used to explain that the poem is about a tiger. So vivid stripes, it is known as synecdoche. A part is used to explain the whole. Then the next one is pads of velvet. See, the paws of the tiger is as soft as a velvet cloth, it seems. So it is compared to a velvet cloth. It is known as metaphor. Okay, and then we come, he stalks. If you see, he stalks, he should be lurking in the shadow. So the tiger is personified here. So the poetic device used here is personification. Then you have quiet rage. See, two opposites. Quiet is silent and rage is for extreme anger. So two opposites are placed, and that poetic device is known as oxymoron. Then you have sliding through long grass. When you read this sentence, you get the imagery that the movement of the tiger is very smooth. So it is known as imagery. You also have an enjambment, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. If you see grass hole, there is no punctuation, so it is an enjambment. Okay, then you have baring his white fangs, his claws, his white fangs, his claws. If you see, they are symbolism. Okay, they symbolizes the terror. The moment we read his white fangs, that is his ferocious teeth and his claws, we can symbolize the terror in the terror of the tiger. Okay, then we have snarling, the sound word snarling. It is known as onomatopoeia. Okay, and then we have hiss. You see the words hiss repeated. So this is known as repetition. There is also one more repetition here, brilliant. Okay, that is also repeated. So it is a repetition. Okay, then you have, see there, concrete cell. Concrete cell is the consonant sounds are repeated. Consonant sound C is repeated. So it is consonants. Then you have ignoring visitors. The vowel sounds E and E are repeated in both the words. It is known as, when a vowel sound is repeated, it is known as assonance. Then you have the last stanza, metaphor. The last voice, the siren of the patrolling cars, the siren sound is compared to the last voice of the man who goes for patrolling. So it is a metaphor. That is the end of the poem. That is the end of the poetic devices. Thank you.